So we're going to use transformations of functions, and we're going to fit a parabola to this curve. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to graph, we're going to go to a new function, and we are going to do a new parameter, and I am going to call this parameter A. So this is going to be called A. I am going to multiply A by x minus, and I'm going to come up with another parameter, and we're going to call that h. And then we're going to square that. And then we're going to add yet another parameter. And we'll call that k. All right, so all of those are active. Oh, I didn't turn it off. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the picture. We're going to go to Edit. We're going to go to Properties. We're going to prefer Properties. And Arrow Selectable we're going to turn off. So now my picture can't move. So now what we're going to do is we are going to make this function active, and we're going to plot the function. Notice that it put a coordinate plane on there. And you see my parabola? Well, I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to see it very well, so I'm going to go up here to Display, and I'm going to make the line thick, first of all. And second of all, I think I might change its color to, I think it'll show up yellow. All right. So what can you tell me about the parabola I have and the one I want to fit it to? Yeah, it's got to be flipped. What do I do to flip it? I have to make which one of these negative? Which flips it? Yes, A. So I'm going to click on A. Well, that's not what it was supposed to do. I'm going to click on A. Ooh, darn. All right. So I'm going to click on A. I don't know what I just did, but all right. I'm going to click on A, and I'm going to make it -1. Okay, so now we're at least going in the right direction. What do we have to do now? Make it higher. Okay, so which one makes it higher? K. All right, so now we're going to come to K. How high do you think we need to go? 3? So we'll turn that to a 3, and we'll hit OK. Ooh. How about 3.1? What would happen? Okay. Now what do we have to do? Widen it. Who widens it? A. What does H do? Left and right. So let's widen it. So do we want to get a bigger A or a smaller A to widen it? You mean, like, do we want to go 1/2 or 1 1/2? What did we say, 1 1/2 or 1/2? 1 1/2. All right. So the beauty here is you just type it in. And that's going to be -1.5. Oh, what happened? How did those change? Okay, we had 3.01. Okay. Oh, so was that wrong? Okay, so we have to make it -0.2. Ooh. Okay, what do you think we should do now? We'll shift it a little tiny bit? To the left, maybe? Just a little bit. We're already at 1, so where do you think we should be? If we want to go left, 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. 1 Okay. 0.8. Maybe we need to make it a little skinnier. So what about, we need to go a smaller fraction, correct? What about negative 1.8? What did I do? What should I have done? Negative, what did I want? I think I was 0.18. Should we go, we need to go smaller. Isn't 0.1? Oh, okay, so now, oh my goodness, negative 0.19. All right. I want skinnier, but not much. What do you suggest? It means I have to go bigger? Oh, that rounded it. Oh, look at that. More? Okay, maybe 0.24. Okay, so now, can we play with it a little bit more? Maybe, do you think it should go up a little bit now, or not? Where's our up? 3.02. .05. Okay, so let's do this as 235. Negative 0.235. That's pretty good. Okay, so what have we done? We've used transformations of functions in order to fit that curve to that parabola. All right, so let's see how close we can be in another way. So you're going to need your graphing calculators. This is what's already online. So what we have here is I'm going to come up to the point tool, and I'm going to try to place points. This is going to be hard. Maybe I should do it with the, I don't want it on my curve. I want my points to be on the water. You know what I mean? So I'm going to attempt to, and I might have to get rid of my curve. Nope. All right. So I've been attempting to hit the white one. You with me? Maybe I'll throw one down here. All right. Maybe I'll throw two down there. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to use regression now to do the exact same thing we did. So we curve fitted as best we knew how. And now we're going to see how close we came. All right. So what we're going to do is we got points on the curve. That point is active. Do you see how it's hot pink? So I'm going to go through here, and I am going to, if you do this, I suggest you do this first before, well, then you might know what your number should be. I'd have two pictures. Save it and then bring it up. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to measure, and we're going to get the coordinates. All right, so there's all our coordinates. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go to stat part of your calculator, and I'm more than willing to read you the numbers because I think it's easier to type it in. So what we're doing for those who are listening is I've got the class typing these numbers into, you go to stat, and then list 1, you're going to type in 6.3. Then you're going to, below that, 5.95. Below that, 3.55. Then 2.83. Then 2.28. Then 0.9. 0.13, negative 0.71, negative 1.24. Then you're going to go to the top of list 2, and your first entry should be negative 4.82, then negative 3.62, 1.51, 2.28, 2.73, 3.10, 2.94, 2.65, and 2.28. All right, so what I'm going to do is, even though the data is not in my calculator, I'm going to attempt to bring that one up just so that people here listening can see what screens we're going to go to. So if you're doing linear regression on data, then this is one of the things you will probably be doing with your graphing calculator for your IA. All right. So you will hit the stat button, and edit is where we get access to our list. Now you're going to arrow over to calculate, and in calculate there's all these different regressions. I believe this is a quadratic, and before we do this, we're going to turn on our R. So let's get out of here for a minute. Okay. So right in yellow, above 0 is called catalog. So you're going to hit second, catalog, and this gives you lots of options. And instead of having to scroll down for 15 minutes, we're going to find the D, which I believe is where the x to the inverse is. We're going to do alpha. I hit alpha, alpha, and then x inverse. Now we're to the D's, and now we're going to arrow down to diagnostic on. We're going to hit enter, and we're going to hit enter. What this has done is this has turned on our R value. Now we're going to go back to stat, we're going to go back to calculate, and you're going to choose number 5, quadratic regression. If I choose number 5, nothing will happen because I didn't put beta in. So, and then when you do that, hit enter. Okay, so I'm going to borrow Miguel's calculator, and this is what we're going to do now. Now that we got this regression equation in our calculators, we're going to go back to graph, we're going to plot a new function, and now we're going to type it in. The more digits you type, the more accurate your curve will be. We got negative 0.2672 x raised to the second, and then we're going to do plus, you'll have a break in a minute, 0.451 x, and then it's going to be plus 3.084. And we're going to hit OK, and it's active, and now here you go. You ready? We're going to hit graph, and we're going to say plot new function, and we're going to see how close it is. Okay, so the regression, and actually I will change this color to maybe this color. So this one actually went a little bit higher, but notice when it went a little bit higher, it hit those points down there, didn't it? So that made that a little bit more accurate. So let's compare this equation to the one we had up here. The calculator gave us negative 0.267. We had negative 2.4. It gave us 0.451 well, now we'd have to FOIL this in order to compare. But our K was 3.84, we had 3.5. So at this point, if I were reflecting, if I needed to use this equation, let's say for data, is it more important that my curve is accurate down here, or is it more important that my curve is accurate up here? If I wanted accuracy at the top, I would choose the yellow one, the one we did with f of x and our transformations. If I needed accuracy down here as well, maybe I want to move more towards the future in my prediction, then I would use the blue one. So sketchpad gives us lots of opportunities to do lots of cool stuff. All right, take a break.